Hi there, Sanjay Gangal from EDA Cafe. I'm here with Michael Sivigny, owner and general manager of CeTaQ Americas. Hello, Michael.
Hi there, Sanjay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. Tell us about CeTaQ.
CeTaQ is a global operation, small but global, and we've got about 20 people worldwide. And the company started in Germany in 1996, and they developed a unique measurement system for measuring capability of production equipment, specifically surface mount manufacturing equipment.
Mhm.
And over the years, it started just as being able to measure chips on placement machines. And then it has exploded into measuring the whole line from the start to the finish and even some equipment off the line. So it's all third party independent objective analysis of machine capability. And that's what the company has done over these years. I started as an exclusive representation company here in the Americas territory in 2001 and have been supporting this territory since then, trying to grow the company and educate the industry on everything that we can do for quality improvement.
Okay. And how do your services help optimize quality in SMT manufacturing?
Sure. So we are using highly accurate glass boards and measurement systems that are NIST certified and traceable. And we need that stuff with the measurement methodology that we employ to help remove the variation that you would see from measuring an FR4 circuit board. So these glass boards are simulating the FR4 board through the machine, and the machine is acting on whatever tool we have in the system. So whether it's a glass board for printing or placement or a measurement device we have in the printer of a work nest, we're simulating production of the machine as it would normally operate in production with our materials and with our glass boards to help understand where the variation in the machine process is coming from so that we can statistically measure it, analyze it through measurements, and figure out how to adjust the machine and make it run better.
Okay.
And yep, go ahead.
And I noticed that your philosophy emphasizes optimization across people, process, and equipment. Can you share a real world example of how aligning these three areas has led to measurable improvements for a customer?
Sure. So this philosophy that we've now employed over the last year and a half since I hired Raymond Lawrence out of the EMS world, and he has brought IPC training to our revenue stream, our portfolio of offerings, and also process consulting. He has a great deal of experience in those areas, and I've been the measurement guy for 20 plus years now. And so combining the people training and the process consulting and the machine measurement stuff really helps take out all the variation and lack of training, perhaps, that people who don't have enough education, they don't understand how things really work with the line. And these 3 points, they communicate with each other on a line every day, all day. So our emphasis is to try to train everybody and consult with the process and or measure the process to try to optimize everything. And what you get out of that regular measurement and regular optimization is more intrinsic efficiency that the line starts to experience. It's down less, there's less operator intervention with the machine. All of the heads are working, none of them are bypassed. So you start to have more productivity, more capacity through the line. And if you're statistically not producing defects from the machine, then theoretically costs are lower, productivity is higher, capacity is higher, and profitability is higher. And those are the main things that we're trying to educate all of the decision makers on why it's important to do measurements at lots of different points in the stage. It can be with new machines, it can be with used equipment, it can be as an OEM selling their equipment, it can be from an EMS perspective and trying to understand where problems are happening. There are a lot of different ways to skin this cat, so to speak.
What sets your testing and measurement approach apart from others in the SMT industry?
Sorry, could you repeat the beginning of that?
What sets your testing and measurement approach apart from others in the SMT industry?
Okay, so CeTaQ is synonymous for independent and objective measurement. And the service that we provide and the products that we provide are independent and objective and mobile. So they can be packed in a suitcase and brought to the client with our measurement service. If a client has more than 5 lines and there's they want to measure more regularly, then they may want to buy their own system, and we can train them how to do that stuff. So that's how we employ and get the service to customers in the field. And how it's different is that it's an independent setup, completely different than what any OEM is going to provide for measuring their own machines. And machine measuring itself is a common tool, or internal CMK, or a lot of the major OEMs, they do have their own internal measurement methodology. But the machines themselves and the vision and the optics, and they're not a metrology piece of measurement equipment, and they don't have a measurement uncertainty budget, and they're not looking at those aspects of how to measure their machines correctly. And they're a show program for customers, so to speak. And some of them do help the machine actually run better. But we have time and time again shown that even a brand new machine that's been fully calibrated by a certified technician for the OEM, and it's been calibrated to every standard that they can throw at it. We've come in after the fact and found that there's another level of improvement that we can bring to help that machine perform better. So there's still some education, still some stuff that we can do to help the industry. But that's the major difference between what we're providing and what is available in the industry. And at the moment, there are no other competitors that I know of that are providing this type of service, that have our level of experience and have been doing it as long as we have. That's for sure.
How does CeTaQ incorporate data-driven decision-making into its process audits? And what impact does this have on reducing maintenance costs and aiding investment decisions?
Yeah. So the collection of data and running tests and measuring on a regular basis can help users of the equipment understand what the performance capability of the machines are. And when you start to measure and collect data over time, you really start to understand what's happening with the equipment. Machine crashes, you have to correct, you have to do calibrations. When you calibrate a machine, it's going to reset the performance condition of the machine. So all these things are what can degrade the performance of a machine. And this regular measurement that we want to employ on a very regular basis can help keep those machines in check and in tune. And the real long-term goal, I guess, with these optimizations are to have a customer run a production run of a CeTaQ measurement scenario. So we program the boards to have all the machines placed on one glass board, and then we're characterizing the whole line, and then we set up a trigger so that the measurement data from all the machines that we just collected gives us some input in terms of a statistical process control chart. We're plotting the point of each machine and seeing if it's in spec. And if it's not in spec, then that's the data-driven decision to decide whether to, at that point in time, go back and adjust that machine, or wait until the next downtime that there is for the machine to go in and adjust it. So we still need to fine tune that whole process, and a lot of that is driven by the demand, production demand. And I think this, if we were to employ this with customers, it would make things a lot easier for them to accept the downtime of a production run rather than the machines being down for X number of days in order to make all these measurements and adjustments. So we're understanding the impact that we have on production, and we're trying to come up with some new ideas to help reduce that impact and be able to get these data points back into the machines and provide a good service.
Earlier on, you mentioned on-site training. So what type of on-site training do you provide?
Sure. What we're providing is, with Ray's skill set as an IPC trainer, we're able to go on site to customers and provide IPC training, 610, J standard, and also the hand soldering. So learning to solder is somebody who's new to electronics manufacturing. If they're going to be working with circuit boards, it's probably a good idea for them to know what a solder joint is and how to fix or how to solder and have that knowledge. And you need to have that knowledge in order to get your J standard certification to be able to legally work or solder on circuit boards according to IPC standards, class 2, class 3. So we're providing that level of training, providing the hand solder training. We can do on-site software training, with what customers want. If there's process-related training, then Ray could provide that as well, and then help engineers and operators on the line really understand the ins and outs of the process, how to set up the machine, how to optimize the machine, the process, and the parameters. So there's a lot of learning points that can be brought forward to these people in their manufacturing lines.
Okay, and what is the best way for our audience to find out more about CeTaQ on the internet?
Sure. Our web address is CeTaQ, CeTaQ-Americas.com. And it's a newer website. We just launched it in April of last year, and trying to make it a more seamless transition experience for understanding the information that we have to show the industry, and that's where you can find more information on us. We've just completed our second webinar. We're making a strong push for educating on equipment and people and process setup and that type of stuff. And the first two were focused on paste in the screen printing process, and then board supports, blades, and stencils on this most recent webinar. So we're trying to educate the industry with this critical to quality webinar series that can help people. So we saw some significant growth in the membership, or not the membership, but the attendance from our first to the second. So it's a good trend.
That's wonderful. So, Michael, is it okay if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Sure.
What do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
My personal passions, well, I was a serious rower for a long number of years. So serious that I attempted to try to make the U.S. national team for the 2012 Olympics in rowing, and didn't quite get there. It came in second place. So rowing has been a long-term passion since I learned how in college, and it's helped me be the person I am and help run this business, so to speak. But I have 2 young kids now, and they have stolen my passion. So, but it's to be expected that they take a lot of goodness, and I love them, and my wife and I are doing everything we can to raise them to be good kids. So,
how old are the kids?
Yeah. Shane is 5.5, and Willem is going to turn 4 in April.
And they're already into rowing?
They are not into rowing, not yet, but I would like to get them into rowing eventually. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and Michael, can you also share something about yourself that most people at CeTaQ Americas who work with you don't know about you?
Whoa, that's a good question. This would be something that I might not even know about myself. No, I guess um, my underlying passion for, I think they may understand it, but my underlying passion behind my business, behind what I've been doing for 24 years now, is and it fits my psyche, the way I love taking a failing machine and bringing it back to life. And I really get, to see a scatter diagram that's totally out of control. And then we make our measurements and we bring everything back, and we've got this tight cluster of data and everything is performing great. And that is really satisfying for me. And I think my colleague Ray might have a feeling that that's what drives me, but everybody else might not know.
Okay. Final question, Michael.
Sure.
Cats or dogs?
I'm a dog guy. My wife brought 3 cats, and we've had a few changeovers in the cat lives, but we still have 3 now. And so she's absolutely a cat lady. And if I wasn't around, she might have 10 more. But I'm definitely a dog guy. I don't mind the cats at all. I do love them. They are fun. And the last 2 that we've gotten are well-adjusted cats for having 2 young boys running around, chasing them and such. So, but I would love to have a medium-sized dog at some point. And I think we will when the time is right for the kids. And because that's like having another kid.
Yeah.
Bringing a dog and brought a dog into the mix.
That'll be great. That'll be great. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Sanjay. Take care.
Yeah, there is Sanjay Gangal from EDA Cafe.